Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB. Today in the arena, we are entering a world of enchantment, of pure imagination. We're playing an enchantments deck using a ton of cards from the new Kamigawa Neon Dynasty set because it pushes enchantments in some strange and interesting ways. Enchantress type decks of the past would be very much about playing enchantresses that draw a bunch of cards. Verdura and Enchantress being the original, just a 3-mana 0/2 that when you played an enchantment, you drew a card. Well, things are changing. It used to be that there were a lot of variations of this, and that's why Enchantress is popular in Commander, but here we don't have anything that draws a card when you play an enchantment. Instead, we have a bunch of enchantments that seem to produce value on their own or find other ways to draw cards. So, what do we do to build an enchantment-themed deck? Well, there are a few things that trigger off the amount of enchantments you have in play, and then you just try to surround those payoffs with as many enchantments as humanly possible while still having a good, competitive, cohesive deck. So this is what I'm working on, and one thing I want to point out before we even go in, that there are a lot of options, and we'll try to compare them to each other, but probably the most important factor with any of these enchantment decks that you try to build is which non-enchantment cards do you choose to run? Because the critical mass requirement of this particular deck is that you have so many enchantments. If you're going to make a Hallowed Haunting deck, if you're going to make a deck that actually makes Catilda the Dawnheart Martyr good, it needs to have almost all enchantments in it. And Catilda is kind of an enchantment because on the backside there's an aura that counts as an enchantment that hands out the Catilda ability again. So even Catilda, while I'm putting over here in the not enchantments pile, is in many ways an enchantment. So let's cover that really quick. We've got Commune with Spirits, which is look at the top 4. You may reveal an enchantment or land card from among them, put it in your hand. This isn't even in the place of another enchantment. This is in a land slot. I've got 23 mana sources. This should be a land, but the idea that if you draw it later in the game when you don't need a land, it can get an enchantment instead is very promising. So then we've got 4 Catilda, which, as I mentioned, are also enchantments on the backside where you can play them from the graveyard. Haven't played this card much on the channel. There was one in the sideboard of the Hallowed Haunting deck, but in this particular deck, it's a big part of what we're going for. We don't have a lot of removal. We just go for a massive board state, and having a giant lifelinker is in many ways our way of beating aggro. In fact, it's kind of the straight up strategy, and we either use Catilda Dawnheart Martyr to do that, or Catilda's Rising Dawn to do that, or we have the Jukai Naturalist, which is a new card from Kamigawa, a green and a white lifelinking 2/2 enchant creature human monk that makes our enchantments cheaper, and we make this thing huge, and I'll get to that in a second. So of all the things I could run, why the Legion Angel? Well, of course, best of one, you get to run the 4 in the sideboard. The main reason is because I needed to basically double down on Catilda's. So Legion Angel, just getting you this constant stream of bodies helped make sure that I always had something to throw Catilda's Rising Dawn on if this was in the graveyard. Always had something to target with Michiko's Reign of Truth, which I'll talk about in a second. Ways to get counters from Ranger class. It was the right call, I would say, adding a Legion Angel as like one of the only pure non-enchantment cards in the deck, and almost like everything else is basically an enchantment. Next, we're gonna... Man, every morning now. I'm recording too early, I think. Because every morning, I get these frogs in my throat. Chill. All right, let's go into more enchantments. Now, we're not a control deck. The last version of the enchantment deck that I played was very much a control deck, and it needed all kinds of cards like Borrowed Time and Ray of Frost in the Alchemy version, and it just needed so much control. This version is not a control deck. It's a little bit of disruption, and then we go way over the top, mostly with Catilda and Michiko's Reign of Truth. This is 1 in a white saga. It's new. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each artifact and or enchantment you control. You get 2 rounds of that, and then in the 3rd round you get a creature that has a +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment you control. So we want to play about 4 or 5 enchantments, hopefully including a Jukai Naturalist or a Catilda, and then we play the Reign of Truth and we pump it to the moon and we attack and we gain 1 billion life, and opponent's like, well, okay, I guess I'm not racing that. So this card is a big part of the win con, and you can see it sort of doubles as another Catilda, but it doubles up with Catilda as well, which is really exciting. Other new enchantments: Spirited Companion, Bestest Dog, enters the battlefield, draw a card, just straight up good filler. Ranger class, I wanted something that made a body. I tried several things in this spot, some non-enchantment creatures, which I'll go over in a minute, that are in the new set, and a Ranger class came out the winner because it created a body which could block, which was very important if you're getting attacked down, or attack if you want to have something to put an aura on and keep the pressure on, or a target for Michiko's Reign of Truth. And it also, you know, left the enchantment behind. Even though the Chapter 3, the level 3, is really bad in this deck, I found Ranger class to be kind of more Spirited Companion in a way, because it's an enchantment that draws a card in the form of a 2/2 wolf that goes directly to the battlefield. One Weaver of Harmony. I'm not sold on this card. Again, I'll get to like the cards we're not playing soon that are enchantment themed. Weaver of Harmony for 1 and green is a 2/2 enchantment creature snake. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. And then a green and a tap, copy target activated or triggered ability from that you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets. So you can make 2 wolves. You can make, I think you can get 2 +1/+1 counters. You can draw 2 cards. You can double this effect. Like, you can get 2 creatures with Circle of Confinement. There's a lot of things you can do with it. It's just 2 mana for a 2/2. And it's nice that buffs other things, which I think helps it get closer to playable. But I still didn't want to I didn't want to pay 2 mana for too many 2/2s, because what would happen is I'd get Meat Hook massacred and I'd lose all my enchantments. So that's another reason why I like Ranger class better. The enchantment stays on the field even if the Weaver of Harmony gets swept away. And then the Jukai Naturalist is probably the most important card in the deck as far as new cards, just the ability to ramp the life-linking body so that you can race other decks. Obviously, Wedding Announcement, it's one of the better cards in Standard right now. And I've got 2 copies of Touch the Spirit Realm instead of Borrowed Time. And this can hit most of what Borrowed Time could, exiling artifacts or creatures, very nice. But the Channel ability gives you something you can do at instant speed. When you play this deck, most opponents will assume you cannot interact at instant speed. So they'll go for like a full complicated Alpha Strike lethal, right? And they'll assume you can't do anything about it. And then you channel this and blink their creature, or you blink your Catilda in response to a removal spell, and it's a blowout. And that's what this card is doing in the deck, and why it's a little change of pace from the rest of the deck. It's very important. And of course, don't do it without Hallowed Haunting. This card is basically your win con and engine, so you really need this card around. All right, the mana base is a hodgepodge of all kinds of different lands. I'm trying a Turn Timber Symbiosis because hitting Catilda is super important, and going 7 deeper to try to find one might be important in a game. But there's so many new cards from the new set that deal with enchantments. So there's a lot of them I had to cut. Mostly because, again, they're not enchantments. Generous Visitor is not an enchantment, and I found that getting the huge buff off the Reign of Truth was better than hoping that you have this and that it stays on the field while you cast all your other enchantments. So Generous Visitor got cut from the deck. I'm sure it's one of the cards that the comments would be all over me for not running or thinking I forgot. I don't forget these things. I do thorough searches. I do thorough reviews of cards and things. I promise I don't forget. But yeah, Shrines. This isn't a Shrine deck, so recommending any Shrines. Kami of Transcendence. This card was in and out of the deck a lot. At the beginning of each end step, if an enchantment was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, you may return this to your hand. Works well with the sagas, even when they turn into creatures. The opponent then has to kill them. Works well with the enchantment creatures too. I eventually didn't like it because it wasn't enough. Like on its own, just casting this again and again, you had to still play enchantments every turn, and you wanted to play enchantments every turn anyway. So this was like taking up spots where I wanted to spend my mana on more enchantments or pushing for lethal. But this card is not a disaster. Running this is probably the next thing I would try in the deck before I'd add, say, more Weaver of Harmonies, because at least if this dies, you have a good chance of getting it back at some point. But getting your other enchantments to die isn't always as easy as you'd hope it would be, and sometimes it's sitting there without being big enough, and it's outsized on the board, and it's very sad. So things like that happen. Then there's another one too There's like another creature that whenever you enchantment this, enchantment that. Oh yeah, it's the Saga one. And it's green and white gold. So yeah, Satsuke, the Living Lore. I found I didn't have enough Sagas, and you had to curve out basically perfect with this card. Like, you just needed this on turn 2, and then play your Saga, the Reign of Truth, and then double the... It was just asking too much. This isn't the right deck for this particular card. This isn't Saga Tribal. So, hopefully that covers the cards that you're immediately like, how come you're not playing those? I didn't think they're as good as the rest of the deck, which is much more themed about getting enchantment board state and not dying to 1 or 2 sweepers. Okay, long intro. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. Alcyon. On the draw. Great. Looks like it works, though. We're probably playing this tapped on 1 instead of communing. Yeah, we want to make sure that we curve out here. I could commune and take a land, but it's a little sus. I'd much rather have an enchantment later. I only need to draw like 1 more land for this hand to be good. Okay. Nothing like being on the draw in the mirror. Thank you, matchmaker. So this is always an interesting one where... I kind of want to hold this and only play it when it can ramp. If I play it now, the opponent might play circle, take it, and then I don't have ramp. If I play this now and the opponent takes that, that's a pretty big advantage. So I think here we lead with this. I think this is the right play. Because only if they have like the removal spell, and if they spend their turn doing that, we're kind of in the driver's seat. Where, as opposed to them threatening us. I mean, they had no problem. 4 cards left. Do I play you? Power and toughness are equal to the number of permanents you control that are spirit. So it would be a 1/1. And then we would, I guess, go get a land. Play this. It's a 2/2. And then we want to play these. But what if we wanted a land for next turn for Hallowed Haunting? Maybe we just need to get Hallowed Haunting down first. Yeah, I like that. Try not to be greedy there and overthink what I just put on the bottom. Some very good cards. Just make sure we curve out. When a land enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature or vehicle you control. Okay. They changed themselves into a landfall deck. We'll see how that works out for them. My immediate thought is that, like, playing these requires you to both want to draw more lands and more enchantments, so you're serving 2 masters, and I don't think that's a great idea, but I don't know. I can take a lot of damage if my hauntings start making blockers. This isn't the one that tramples. Nope. Okay, they announced a wedding. Do they have a land? They do have a land. So we just need to endure probably for a couple more turns. If we can do that, they're probably going to run out of either land or relevant plays. If they just hit a land every turn, we can chump block our way through a lot. Alright, so we double our Hallowed Haunting trigger, that's nice. And now we have 2 hauntings. We're trying to get set up to play Catilda and the Reign of Truth. Once we do that, this will hit for a bundle. So we just kind of need to chump block till then? Okay. What are they doing? A Shia? Well, now their creatures are lands too, but they also like enchantments, so I don't know. So if we block with both, their power toughness will diminish. Better to just chump both and make sure our life total doesn't go too low. And they didn't make another board presence card. I think we need to get this on the field, because we really need to attack with it soon. And if it dies, we need another creature to put it on. So I think I play this and don't copy the effect. Oh, Field of Ruin, by the way, can kill a Shia. I'm just not really... I guess I'm more concerned with Chump Block for a turn, pump Catilda to the moon, win that way. If I'd known I was going to draw land, I could have copied the dog trigger, but we didn't know. We would have had 2 looks at it. Not good enough for me, in my opinion. Unreliable. It's a land now. Yay. But do they have any removal left for Catilda? Hell, what spells do they have left? They can copy this? Would you like to copy it? Okay. I mean, if they don't get rid of this, I'm gonna one-shot them next turn. They have some complicated, like... I feel like they're making enchantments extra complicated. All you really need are a bunch of enchantments and Catilda. That stuff's broke. But let's see, can they finish the job here? Alright, they're out of toys. Bold. Wee. This is gonna be fun. For how much, you say? Oh, come on. You didn't want to take that punch? Okay. We go first. And look at this hand. Look at this Jukai Naturalist Wedding Announcement Reign of Truth nonsense. Just don't kill this. Easy. Double. All right, against green, I'm just gonna... Well, I gotta mute this stupid bat. Shut up. All right, against green, we just slam this on 2. If they had played, like, red mana, and I'd be afraid of this dying, I'd play Ranger Class instead there. But against green, we're definitely gonna get a chance to ramp. So I can Reign of Truth now. I think we Ranger Class first, and Wedding Announce. I could offer this. They won't block. They won't block. I already ramped. They need to ramp. Wow. Okay. I mean, we take that. Like, I already got double ramp off this card. They got no ramp off their Sculptor. Like, that's really fine. Alright. That feels like a Snakeskin Veil, doesn't it? It might have been a Blizzard Brawl. Too bad this is tapped. Could have done some pretty cool things. As it is, though, this is a +3/+3. I think we just want to get this going. Even a Snakeskin Veil isn't going to play good defense here. Just with the amount of power and toughness we're going to throw at the opponent for the next few turns. We're just going to deal them so much damage they'll live on the back foot, you know? If they have a Chariot, that's really good. But if they had Chariot, I don't think they'd trade this. Double pack leader, sure. Okay, they're not holding up Veil this turn. We're gonna probably touch the Spirit Realm. Let's see what happens. Bold. Very bold. No fear over here. All right, so this is +3/+3. We're gonna take this out, I think. Man, if I still had my Rampy Critter, I'd be pretty happy about that. But I guess we want this to be able to attack. A lot of damage. Wedding announcement about to flip. We'll draw a card here from it. Take it, go to 9. Okay. You know, that Blizzard Brawl is probably what held priority a long time ago. It's about time they used it. They've been taking a lot of beating, but now they don't have anything for this card. I mean, this was all a setup for them to draw a card with their pack leader, I guess. Well, they're tapped out. So, if I had saved my 2/2, let's see. Does that cost me lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not quite. Not quite. Oh yeah, it did. I didn't know this, but I top decked this, which would have made it lethal. Oh, never mind. Never didn't have it. That's called a French top deck. Jean Cholon. Juan Cholon? Jean Cholon. I don't know. What are your sleeves? Something out of a nightmare. Gross. Hand is pretty bad, to be honest. We need to draw a creature or something, and we don't have any. So I guess that's a mulligan, because there's... I mean, we do apply pressure in these games through board presence. It's absolutely essential. All right. Important choice here. Do we keep the Ranger class or the Spirited Companion? Because I think everything else is playable. You could also say that we either keep the Reign of Truth or the Catilda, not both. And I guess I could put away the Catilda because it's harder to cast. And it is one of the things that's more vulnerable to removal. They just have Vanishing Verse. This didn't do anything, whereas other cards could do something. It's a tough one. It's a very tough one. I'm sure we'll draw another. All right, so far playing our Naturalist on 2 has worked out. Let's try again. Adversary. Mono white. Fun. Okay, draw a land. White land. Yeah! Beautiful. Okay. Ranger class. Reign of Truth. We are doing the thing. 6 lifelink on turn 3. No big deal. We're just gonna do it again next turn. Don't get tilted or anything. Oh my god. This is fine. This is fine. I'm just gonna take this, let them draw cards. They're gonna be dead before they get to use them. That was busted. Bruzzle? Bro. Ezel. They're on the edge of falling out of ranked. We can't lose to them. Our rank will tank. On the draw. We haven't hollowed Hauntinged in a few games, so we'll try it again here. We need to draw a white source. On the draw should be reasonable. I guess I'm a little concerned that we don't play anything till turn 2, and then after that, if we miss the land, maybe we're just playing these and making a wolf token bigger. This could be weak. This could be weak. Should I mulligan for something more explosive? If we draw the white source, though, we play Ranger class, then we play Catilda, then the next turn we can play Haunting, or we can go Reign of Truth, gain 1,000,000 life. So if we draw the lands, it works out. If we didn't, we draw other spells. Maybe those help us with the holes in our game plan. This is mono red. They play mono red. Probably a good draw. White source. Nice. All monitor. All right, the race is on. We need to make sure that Catilda's big enough to survive. So we do need enchantments on the field, and I don't know if we can get enough enchantments on the field to make Catilda big enough to survive right away. It might just be we have to throw her on the battlefield and hope. Depends. If they play like a Stormseeker here, I think our only chance is to play Catilda. They didn't Stormseek. They played Chandra.
Yeah, I'm basically a professional at saving in a stride by now.
Okay, they've only got one card.
I'd love to.
They've got one card. If it doesn't kill Catilda, we're good. Let's go for it. It's risky, but we gotta do it. This is what being on the draw is. And just give me one turn. One turn. Well, they didn't pop off their removal spell instantly, did they? You monster. Alright. I mean, insane draw from the red player. We can top another Catilda to have a chance. Or we can draw the lifelinker.
Who needs a plan? Just improvise.
Looks like every Chandra activation I've ever used. Jesus. They did just barely have it, didn't they? They just barely had it. Alright, so we can play the Spirited Companion, we can play the Reign of Truth, and then we can bring this back from the graveyard. That's the new plan. Top card is not red.
Think of something good.
Oh, come on. No! Come on! Opponent's just laughing at me. Try mono red, it's so good. So we have nothing to enchant this on. We have no other enchantment to play. We'd lose to mono red. We go first, we win that game. I guarantee it. Ross, you're catching me at a bad time. I want to bash the living crap out of you because of what a mono red player did. Ah, the Field of Ruin gets me again. It gets me again. I think the mana needs some tweaking. I've had a few games where it's like the white source isn't there and the deck doesn't work. It's been sad. All right. You, or you just do this. Hand is super clunky. Hopefully we just top deck a basic. Yeah, perfect. Are you mono white? Voice of the Blessed. Okay. They won't get rid of this. I don't think they'll get rid of this. They're going to try to show us how to gain life. We're going to try to show them what life gain truly is. Now, if they attacked with this, would I trade? I might. Nah. Alright, I'm going to try to set up for Mega turn. Next turn. They're going to grow the Voice of the Blessed a few times, feel great about it. We're going to go Companion Truth, and they're going to cry. Okay, that's scary. They didn't have a 1-drop creature last time, and they don't this time. Okay. Wow. Start by a drawing. Then I think we go Truth. I mean, these both have lifelink and we want to attack with both. Extra 2 points, so let's show them how lifelink really works. They're like, oh, you mean instead of gaining 1 little life point a turn, I could be doing that? It's pretty hype. You go to 7. I'll go to 31. Casual turn 4. Set up to do it again next turn. Okay. All right. We're gonna see who can out lifelink the other here. Runa Sustenance giving the Voice of the Blessed lifelink. If they play a creature, it triggers the Orator. They get +1/+1. Okay, that's the best creature for the job. Lunarch Veteran, which can trigger again, but now they don't have another 1-drop. I think we take it because our enchantments make our creatures stronger. Oh, you're dead. You're dead. Yeah, get your kicks in. Maybe they haven't bothered reading this card. They don't know just how bad this gets. It gets bad. Make it bigger. And bigger. Where are you going? All right, here we go. On the play, relying on the Ranger class and Wedding Announcement for creatures shouldn't be too bad, and we have a removal spell. Very doable. Although it doesn't have our explosive cards. It doesn't have our lifelinkers. Oh, okay. We get the mirror. Being on the play in the mirror is pretty important, but our draw is not as good as it could be. But we do have 2 Reign of Truths now. Reign of Truth is very good. We could have also circled the Harmony. I'm just not as afraid of this card. This is the card we're gonna circle. Like, these look good, but we can chump block them. Okay. Land? No land. The Turn Timber Symbiosis that I cannot take. All right, I think I take another circle. Or, if putting 2 Hauntings on the bottom means we'll probably never draw them. That's very scary. But am I going to have time next turn to cast it? If the opponent plays Haunting, me playing Haunting, they get the first Haunting anyway. But Circle of Confinement's not going to solve that problem. This is tough, because I don't know if I'm ever going to draw the land for this either. We have no evasion yet, so we have to find some evasion. Do they have a Haunting? Not yet. They can draw some cards here. They don't. This is the other thing, like this ability, it's kind of a scam. You kind of never want to use it, to be honest. You have an instant? Okay, they're going to touch the Spirit Realm. That's still fine. Okay, we drew the land. We play you. Make another chump blocker. And next turn, we're going to try to start turning this corner. Restoration, sure. Another card I thought would fit this deck perfectly, and I ended up just trying to be lower to the ground and more explosive. Like, there, they fetch 2 planes. I mean, it's a total scam. Well, let's just keep our life total high. We should be able to win if we stall. So I should have taken 3 there just to have a big crackback with that token if I was going to play the Reign of Truth that turn. I don't like that play now in hindsight. I guess I was hoping I'd draw a non-land card, but I should know better. This is a card I had in the deck for a while. Glorious Sunrise. At the beginning of the combat, choose one. Your creatures get +1/+1 and gain trample. That's kind of a big deal. Land gains tap for double green. Draw a card if you control 3 or greater, or gain 3 life. It looks like the opponent went with the trample, and they're going to try to close this game. Can I kill them next turn? This is... Yeah, this enchantment gives flying. Yeah, just take it. Sorry, it was a Glorious Sunrise, but I think it's a little too slow here. There's the flying. A little unnecessary, but what can... You know. Nope, wrong creature. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Too much damage. Top 100, let's go. We need this one. Hozo. You stand between me and my goal. I must destroy you. Amiria's Call. Ranger class. Wedding announcement. Circle of confinement. Easy. Why did I play this on 1? This isn't a forest. It looks too much like a forest. Son of a... Oh, no. Alright, well, I guess just for traction purposes, I'll take their dockside in case they have a deadly dispute. I thought this was a forest. I've made that mistake a lot. That's why we have to, like, switch up the land arts. Let's get this cooking. Mana efficiency. Then next turn we can start dubsing. This is going to be an interesting game. Black-white is a very good deck. Very grindy. We can be very explosive. They have Vanishing Verse, which is a heck of a card. They also have Meathook Massacre. A difficult card to play around for sure. There's their Deadly Dispute. So we didn't hold it off very long with the circle. Now, do they have the hook? That's why we held back a Ranger class anyway. Good, no hook yet. Maybe a little mana trouble. All right, we do need to start being careful about how we pace this. We want to draw a card with the announcement. We want to level a ranger class. I think we can copy the triggered ability from leveling the ranger class so that we get multiple +1/+1 counters. Then our board gets bigger. So next turn they can hook for 3. So we want to make a 4/4. So we should do it. I would do it to Weaver, but then we can't copy the ability. And I kind of want to hold things back because I do think I'm going to get swept. Also, do I want this? Blow up their announcement, blow up their hook. It's a big deal. So we don't copy the level. That doesn't do anything. We have to copy the trigger. And this is to make sure that we have something that survives a meat hook massacre. They also have blood on the snow eventually because they have the snowlands. Oh, we could have spaced out one counter. Yeah, because of this transforming. Okay. All that thinking and they just scoop? That's not the black-white gamers I know. I guess they're short of land for their Lulth. I don't... Anyway, top 100. Let's go. Freud. Nope. Rude. On the play. Let's go. His hand's fine. I don't know. We'll see. We got Companion. We got Announcement. Very low power level, but... at least we get our mana right and we can draw our powerful cards. That's why they're in the deck, so... Yes. It's a good draw, but it might not survive. Might not survive. What if we just confined this? Play around their Deadly Dispute? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. These little 1/1s are kind of oppressive when it all comes down. Some people keep their hand because they have Deadly Dispute, Shambling Ghast, and the rest of their hand is expensive or not great. Let's just kill it. Okay. I mean, do it again, maybe? What are you without your dorks? Nice. I think that, guys, we might have actually stranded Deadly Dispute. It could have happened. Let's cook. 2 wedding announcements on the same day. Hopefully they don't choose the same date. Okay, they draw a white source. They're probably sitting on that Deadly Dispute. Oh, it must be my birthday. All right, if I draw another Circle of Confinement here and they don't get to Deadly Dispute next turn, okay, that's not what happened. This is fun, though. This is fun. Little draw 3 on the end step. They can't really block if they want to cast Deadly Dispute. Well, I guess they can because they get a token on their end step. That's cool. That's nice. Lulth is here. Lulth is a pain.
For they consume, I will cull the weak.
So, how do we get through Lulth? That's gonna be a pain. Hallowed Haunting would be nice. I mean, we want to attack here because we want to draw the cards, for sure. 3 cards is not a small number. But we don't want to attack with 3 creatures because the opponent can block, make new spiders. We want Lulth to stay on 3, so we're going to attack with these 2 1/1s. And I guess I'll play a Catilda. I can do that post-combat. Force the block? No. Let's go face. The opponent might take it, which I think would be a mistake.
generous one.
9/9. Hello. There's a Haunting. There's a Legion Angel. Okay. Ooh, that feels good. 11/11 lifelink. What you gonna do when Catilda Dawnheart Martyr runs wild on you? Probably Vanishing Verse it, to be honest.
Ambitious minds.
The Dawn Sky? Kind of an... That's kind of an... I would call that an optimistic play. Feels like something bad could happen there. Bottlenecked on white mana again. I could blow up one of these and have another white. And then what? I can't do anything extra this turn with that. So this dies. They'll probably look at their top 7 for some permanents. Or they can chump with this. I think we need to go super wide. I still want to attack with 2 things here to draw a card. So I guess they both have to kill a dragon, and we have to get through the dragon's death trigger. So the dragon's gonna die and have a death trigger is what you're saying. Okay. You and you. Counter here. Flying and Vigilance, baby. Loaf will make more spiders, which is obnoxious. Ugh. But hopefully soon we'll have enough flying that we can just keep the pressure on. Double block. $36 life. Alright, death trigger. What'd it do? You can look at your top 7 and you get 4 non-land casting cost for free. What's it gonna be? Okay. Card is terrible against my Vigilant army, so that's cool. That's cool. Yes, make a samurai. The Wandering Emperor wasn't made for this. Opponent needs something like Farewell in their deck. They need to be able to exile all enchantments. Without it, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they can make 2 more spiders for blockers, which makes going wide difficult. But we will eventually go wide. And we'll be too tall for a meat hook.
We will slay our enemies.
If this beats black-white tokens, like if this deck can dunk on black-white, it's gonna be a serious deck.
Let your blade do the talking.
Yeah, I think people are gonna have to at least have a plan for green-white enchantments. Regular, conventional, just put out all these tokens isn't gonna do it, I don't think. Let's keep making creatures. This is gonna be great. The other lifelinker, this one immune to Vanishing Verse. If they get rid of the Hallowed Haunting, my creatures would lose Vigilance and Flying. So if they're holding a Vanishing Verse, I'm not sure they might be thinking that they have to get rid of this, but they really should probably get rid of something else. If they double block this, they die, so this is fine. And yeah, I'm just going base. Forget your planeswalkers and their incremental value. I should have put the counter on the Spirited Companion, though. I got addicted to lifelink. I fell for the new player trap.
Do what I a gift.
Oh, should have leveled up. I guess I could also use this field, but probably not a good enough reason to pass there. Uh-huh. Get back your dragon, I guess.
Keep watch for intruders.
My will cannot be denied.
Uh-huh. 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 So block, 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 take how much? A lot? Might as well get another white source. It's been a bit of a bottleneck here. To the moon. I love that this also has like flying and vigilance, you know? I mean, all attack. All attack. I was trying to pick and it just didn't pick. I think I clicked wrong. Anyway. Smooth, clean end to the game as always. And yeah, black-white tokens. What are you gonna do? They're too big to hook consistently. I just make more of them every time I play something. I gain 1 billion life. Like, Wandering Emperor can't exile anything. What would you say you do here? And we are back for the post-game wrap. Let's check out the stats powered by untap.gg. Free download link in the description, supports the channel. Boom, 7 and 2. And into the top 100. A mere 78% win rate for the enchantment-themed pile. And holy God. By the way, one of those losses, I was on the draw. I kept a 1-lander. So you can guess I didn't draw more. So Mono Red was able to take us out. They had exactly what they needed when they needed it on the play. But other than that, we beat everything in our path. So what does that say about the deck? I think the deck's very powerful, but I don't think it's final formed yet. Look at me sitting in the way. Sitting right in the way. I'm supposed to be down here. There's definitely some improvements we can make, and since you are part of the, I looked it up again yesterday based on like the last week of videos, if you are one of the 13% who stay till the end, then we're going to give you a special secret deck tech right now where we're going to clone this and we're going to work it out. Some people are like, I really want a link. By the way, can you have a download link to your super secret deck tech at the end? If I put that in the description, think about it. If I put the final link in the description, nobody will watch till the end. This is called Jabate. I got business to do. Besides, if you're watching, you're smart. You have a brain. You can move some cards around. You can open up Arena and just duplicate what I'm doing here. First of all, these lands, gone. 100% gone. We don't need those mythic lands. We need more white sources. We need more untapped white sources. Maybe we don't need more untapped white sources. Like, this deck could play Arctic Treeline. It doesn't have like a 1-drop. Arctic Treeline would be a totally playable one-of in this deck. So let's get that in there. We did have way too many green sources. So we might need to trim a little more. Let's see this again. All right, so we probably want about 13... We do need a green source on turn 2. We want about 15 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plus 4, 14, 15. Okay, we have 15. This Field of Ruin, we're going to cut it. messed up my mana weight way too often. We're gonna add another plains there. So hopefully now we have more white in our mana base so that we can cast our double. Like there were a lot of turns where like double white was great and triple white would have been amazing, because once you play Jukai, most of our other enchantments are white, and you can cast a lot of them for one white, like Reign of Truth, Spirited Companion, and Circle. And man, were there games where I wanted to go, you know, 1 mana, Spirited Companion, Reign of Truth, Circle. I like the Commune. Commune can stay. Commune uses that green mana. So does Ranger class. I think those are very good. Weaver of Harmony, fine. But mostly it's the mana base. Whether or not to do the Legion Angel, I think is a matter of taste. You know, we didn't see it really do the thing, but I think you can picture a lot of times where we were down to 1 or 2 small creatures and we didn't have any invasion, and we're like, we're really hoping this works out, that we can get there. We need something to Reign of Truth. Like Legion Angel would be a very reliable evasive body for that, so I really think it's a good keep. Plus we need something to keep the counters coming from our Ranger classes. We need something to target. Just makes sense to me. So yeah, that's how I would change the deck, the super secret deck tech at the end, improve the mana base. Otherwise, I like the pile a lot. If you want to try those other cards in the intro that I sort of hated on and said I didn't belong in the deck, you can. I'm not going to get like salty about it. They're not significantly, they're not like 10% better than each other. If you want to cut Ranger class and play like some of the new green enchantment theme stuff, I just like this version. This version to me is the resilient kind of advantage steamroller that I'm looking for. So I hope you'll try it. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I'll see you in the next video. You're cool.